Let's get into this thing with Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Were you surprised? I know that you were talking about how
I was the one who broke it 2 weeks ago that they were looking to trade him. And then John Gruden came out and said, "No, I don't know where these reports are coming from," which is why I knew it was true.
when you get
the moment he said that, I'm like, I'm golden.
When you get calls from coaches and general managers saying that is false, you think that is...
Oh, he didn't call me to tell me it was false. Oh. He said it to the media after it was false. Like I said, golden.
Were you surprised, though, at the first round selection?
So here's what happened. When the teams they were talking to in the past, it was like a 2+, a player, 2+, another, whatever it was. And there was a lot of teams who were willing to give up a 2 for him. So the way kind of the game of telephone goes in this league is once you put a story out, then teams don't want to seem eager to that team, so they call middlemen, if you will, right? Because they call other people with information. Because if they call that team the Raiders, then it seems like they're too overeager and they could jack the price up. So they call and tell everybody what went down, that it was originally for a 2+, and then at the last second they changed it for a 1. Gruden wanted a 1, and I had several teams say for a 2, we do it for a 2. But when you have several teams who say they're going to do it for a 2, that means in my mind, okay, somebody's going to get pushed into giving up a 1. Which
all it takes is 1.
It's all it takes. And then here's the thing: I know, is it steep? Time will tell. It's not steep if the guy ends up making 6 Pro Bowls for them. And it's not steep for the Raiders if the player they choose ends up being better than Amari Cooper.
Exactly. Anytime that there's a draft choice related trade, anytime the draft is involved, you have to wait to see whether it was worth it or not.
Yeah.
No question about it. When the Jets traded an absurd amount of draft choices just to move up to 3 with the Indianapolis Colts this past year, and it sounded like a steep price to pay, but it winds up with them getting Sam Darnold, then...
Well, the Eagles with Carson Wentz.
That's another one too, right? Obviously. So we have to wait and see on that front, understood. Right. It does, though, smack a little bit of desperation right now for Dallas. Would you not agree on that front?
Yeah, and there was other receivers that were being chopped to them. So
can you give me some names?
I think Benjamin up in Buffalo, one of the Benjamins.
Kelvin Benjamin up in or Travis. Well, it's a big difference between
I know,
the
it's
two.
A huge difference. Oh man, who else? The receiver in Miami. Devontae was
Parker.
I think he's
or Stills.
No.
Okay, Parker.
Devontae, yeah.
So that's why they went ahead.
Is kind of being shopped around. Obviously, Demaryius Thomas's name is out there. But look, I think this will end up being the most active pre-trade deadline we've seen in a long time, and it's twofold. One, the Eagles wheeled and dealed their way to a Super Bowl title last year, and 2, the Khalil Mack trade, because people were really in heavy on Khalil Mack with really high compensation, and obviously turned out well for the Bears, beyond well for the Bears. So I think teams where they might have been afraid to make the teams in the past used to be like, I'm not going to call it because they're going to want too much. This is a wheeling and dealing market right now. That's not to say there'll be more trades than ever before, but we've already seen Carlos Hyde, right? Then we had yesterday's trade with Cooper. I think we're going to, I know from the GMs I talked to, they're this week saying, we're going to call everybody. We're going to burn up the phone lines. We're going to see if there's anything out there we can get.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.